we just started. So welcome in. I am Carol. I am the owner and creator of everything that you find at CarolJo's.com. It is an online jewelry and accessory business, but I don't do a lot of jewelry sales here on social media. I actually do other things. We had a bead sale last night on TikTok. We do chat times on Insta, on YouTube, and TikTok. I usually do them both on two different social medias when I do those so that they're recorded so you can find them later and watch the replay on YouTube. And I also do tutorials. Today will be a tutorial day. So that's where I teach you how to make different things using any of the beads or components that I have available to me. Most of the items I do sell on the bead sale days, but a couple of them that I'm going to show you today, I do not sell the parts to do it. So you would have to source those, and we'll talk about where you can source out those. And I just realized I did not turn the ring light on for my second camera. So hold on, let me do that quick. There we go. Haha, I'm not in the dark anymore. So, but as always, when we're here live on TikTok, if we get 10 shares, 10,000 likes, then we do giveaways. Today's giveaways are going to be a choice between some badge reels. We will do choices between different types of jewelry and that type of thing. We still have not had time for Buttercup to make us more bead soup, so we won't have the bead soup today. Good morning, Heidi. How are you doing? So what today's tutorial is about is making anklets. It's the same premise to make them all. I'm just going to show you different ways that you can change out the components and you can make different types of anklets. So here's the first one. I'm going to show you here on TikTok and then here on YouTube. This one is made using seed beads and then a glass tube bead. And then the second one that I'm going to show here is one where we use, I'm doing good. We've got the liquid silver is what this is called. You can also get this in gold, but I use primarily silver when I make jewelry, so I will make it with silver. And then it has a glass bicone bead. So there's that one. And then the third one, we are using glass beads that are round in that blue color. We have some 3mm silver plated beads. I'm going to show you up close here. Let's see if we can get that to focus. There we go. And then we have a charm on it. And when we get to this bracelet, or anklet, I mean, we are going to talk more about how to select a charm that to put on here and what you have to do if you select one way versus another. So I will give you tidbits on that. It's just about, well, Rage, happy birthday to you. I hope you have a great day. It's all about being able to use what you have on hand and what you need to do to make it work. Hello, Jasmine. So that is what we're going to do today. So besides the beads that you're going to use or the liquid silver, I actually use on my anklets a 6mm split ring, which is like a key ring, only in 6mm. I use those because to me, they're more sturdy on an anklet than a jump ring. You can use a jump ring, but jump rings will open up, and with it being on your ankle, you are tougher on it than you are on a lot of places. So that's why I use the split rings. You'll also need a lobster clasp or some sort of a closure that's similar to that. Like you can use a spring closure with a spring clasp. I just happen to use lobster all the time. You will need the beads that you need. You will need, I don't have it out. Let me grab it. Where did I put it? Right here. Found them. These are crimp tubes. I hid them from myself. The crimp tubes are 2mm in length. They are sterling silver, and I use those to crimp my closure onto the wire. I always use sterling silver for my tubes. I don't use beads. You could use crimp beads instead. They're just round little beads if that's what you like. I happen to like the crimp tubes better, but you always want to use sterling silver. You do not want to use silver plated or any plated. And it's because when you crimp that together, which I'll show you the crimping process, you are hardening that sterling silver and for it to hold. If your base metal is like a brass instead of a sterling silver, it doesn't harden in the same way. And you will lose your design. It'll fall apart faster than if you do use the sterling silver. So that when I talk about jewelry making, I always say you can do cost saving things in a lot of areas. Crimp tubes is not one that you want to save on. You want to use that sterling silver. I do not sell those crimp tubes. Good morning, Don. How are you? You're going to want to go source those. You can go on the Zon and just Google 2mm sterling silver crimp tubes, and you will find them, and you'll be able to see the different price points and how many you get in your package, and purchase them that way. You can also go, if you have a bead store in your area, you can get them from there. I believe Hobby Lobby sells them too, so you will be able to do that. I am doing good. It is a Saturday morning. I'm so excited to have a weekend.
All Joann's are closing, so they're not going to be able to get any from
Yep.
there.
My niece Miranda's here helping me today, and she's like, and Joann's are closing, so that's why I didn't mention that, because you
Sad
can't.
day.
Yes, it's Joann's is closing. So, but you can get them at different places. So that's where you can source out those. So that is what you're going to need for, you're going to need your beads, or either your sterling or your liquid silver, or the seed beads. I'm like, they're sitting right next to me, and I'm like, what the heck are those? Thank you, Don, for the finger hearts. I appreciate that. And then also what you're going to need for tools, you're going to need to cut your wire, which I didn't show you the wire. I'll show you that here. The wire, I use just my flush cutters. Here, I have crimp pliers to crimp my anklet. And then to get the split ring onto the lobster clasp or the charm, I actually use what is called a split ring plier. If you notice, there's a little divot down here at the top of it. So that is how you open it. And then once you get your item on there, you use the chain nose or flat nose pliers to spin it around to put it on there. So those are, and then this one doesn't have a tag on it because it's some that I have purchased for myself in bulk. This is the wire. It is a 21 strand wire that is woven together and when 21 very small strands are woven together, and then there's a nylon coating around it, and that is the type of wire that I use when I create. You can get it in 7 strand. Sometimes you see it 19 versus 21, and then there's the 49 strand. They each have a different, I've done tutorials on those in quick videos. You'll see those out there on a short or in a TikTok video. But how they move, the more strands, the more fluid it'll move in your wire. But also the more strands, the more expensive it gets. So I happen to use the middle of the road on it most times. If I have heavy beads, I'm going to go with a 49 strand. If I have light beads, I'm going to go with 21 strand. I don't normally tend to use the 7 strand because if you, let's say you always kept it like this, when you go to open it and put it on, it's going to look like this because it takes the shape that you put it in. If you happen to store it and it got a little kink in it, this 7 strand is going to keep that kink in there. It just doesn't come out. So that's why I tend to use 21 strand more than any other strand on the wire. Also, I have, this is called the cone, a measuring cone. And so this one goes all the way from 4 1/4 inches. Let me see if I can get that to focus. There you go. All the way down here goes to 12 1/2. The reason why I have this cone, we've talked about in some of our tutorials here that the length, if you used a ruler to measure out and you said it was going to be 8 inches, if you use bigger beads, it's going to take up some of that inner diameter and take away from the length. With the anklets, they are going to normally not take up as much of that inner, so you're going to be almost true to size type scenario when you're creating it. But I use it to make sure if I'm making it for someone, I want to make sure that I'm making it for what their ankle length or their ankle diameter is. So that's why I have this cone. I do not sell the cone either. You can find this by Googling it. And I just Googled easy bracelet because that's what it's called. And then I found it. So that's how I found the bracelet. And then I just purchased it. You can find them on Etsy, the Zon, or just anywhere when you go Google it, you'll find them. And then I did do tape on both sides. It comes where it's going to stick together, but I wanted it to last. So I put tape on the inside and the outside. So inside here, I put pieces of tape, came up from the bottom, put pieces of tape, and then I did it all the way down on the outside. I have actually had this when I went back to figure out, I bought it on Etsy and I bought it about 10 years ago. And it's still surviving. So you just have to buy it once. There are printable versions of this. I don't suggest getting the printable versions because when it comes off, it's not as accurate because your printer could move just a little bit while that piece of paper is going through. So I just say invest in the money. It lasts. But that's what I would use this for, is if you are making it for someone. And you want to make sure that the length of the brace or anklet, I don't know why I keep saying bracelet today, is what you want. So that was a lot thrown at you here. If you guys have questions, always put them in the chats as we're going through this. So if you are making this for someone, what you want to do is have them take like a piece of string or twine or something, or if you have a seamstress measure where it's can go around something, measure the ankle. And whatever that length is, so let's say when you measured it, it was 8 inches. If they want it to be very like snug on their ankle, I would make it at 8.5 inches then. If they want it loose so it'll drop down or it has movement, I would make it to 9 inches in the total. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that if you use the 6mm jump or split rings and a lobster clasp, this is 12 by 6 millimeters. So when you add that all together, because 6 plus 12 plus 6 equals 24 millimeters, 25 millimeters is around around an inch. Let me explain that one more time. 25 millimeters is equivalent to around an inch. So if you're using this type of closure, you're going to add an inch to that. So let's say you have someone that has an 8-inch ankle and they want it to be snug. You would add a 1/2 inch to be snug. So that puts you at 8.5. Take off a full inch to get to 7.5. So your design that you're creating needs to be 7.5 inches. If the individual that you're making for has an 8-inch ankle and they want it loose, you're going to add an inch and then take off an inch. So you're going to be back at 8 inches. And I know that's a lot of math of adding and subtracting, but that's the way that you can make sure when you add your clasp or your closure that it's going to fit them. And what happens then is if it's someone that wants a 9-inch, if we made them this one, you can tell this is not going to be where they probably want it because this is 8 3/4 inch is where this one is at. But this one here, if they wanted it loose, this is the one that's going to fit them. Yes, I do. Is it ship you? I do have TikTok, and I do it both on, today I'm doing it both on TikTok and on YouTube. I always save my tutorials and chat times from the YouTube side, and you can always, if you subscribe to me, then you'll get notified if you turn the notification bell on every time I have a new one that uploads. I do shorts and I do my tutorials and chats on YouTube. I don't do a whole lot of other videos because I stink at editing. So that's what we do over here. All right. All right. So is there any questions from anybody about what I have explained? You're welcome. That was a lot of info that I wanted to share with you before we got started in on designing. All right, I am not seeing any comments, so I'm going to point y'all down. We are going to start with one that is using seed beads and another bead. And I'm going to explain my bead selections as we are going through this, okay? So I'm going to point everybody down to my bead mat. And I do not have my backup accounts on today, so I might not be able. Oh, you're okay. You can always rewatch from it. If you are on TikTok and want to subscribe, you just go to that CJS logo at the top, CJS logo at the bottom. You get to my profile. In my profile, you will see a description. You will touch that. That will send you to a couple of lines down at the bottom there. Do the second one, not the lemonade, but the other one, and that will get you a list. In that list, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, that's where you'll find YouTube. It'll take you to YouTube for you to be able to subscribe. And if you're on YouTube here, if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe. Like I said, then you can turn on notifications and know when I have done uploads. I'm trying to do 2 tutorials a week, 2 chats a week, and 2 sales a week. That is my goal for right now. All right, so, and I don't like that my one light doesn't let me, because my ring lights hold my cell phones for my lives, and it does not go all the way down. I got to make an adjustment on it so that it does. I just have not done that yet. I am grabbing, I had already decided I wanted to use these pearly, light purple seed beads, and I just need a bead to go with them because they just reminded me of summer. So I think, trying to think, maybe I'll go with a darker purple to go with it. Just one left?
No, I was like, do you want to use this one or no?
Oh, let me see that. We're getting new beads ready, and she just was like, hey, here's some. Nope, not that one. It's cool though, but it's not what I'm looking for. It's a little bit too big. And that's another thing I'm going to explain when I'm grabbing beads here. I tend to use smaller beads because it will go against your ankle. And sometimes those beads can hurt your ankle. So when I pick out beads, I pick out things that, like if you see in here, that are rounded like these columns. So there's no sharp edges. If I do something with a sharp edge, like these bobby cones, I make it a 4mm so it's not so big. So I found one, I think. Let me see how that looks together. So when you're selecting the beads, that is things that you have to take in mind about how is that going to feel up against. Ooh, with the silver in between, I think this is it. All right, here we go. Got my beads. We're going to use a purple faceted rondelle for my bead. And this one is a, let me see the size. I'm going to check it out here. I think it is a 4x3, but I'm not sure. Nope, this one might be a 6x4. Go sideways. There we go. It's actually a 6x5mm rondelle. And everybody that watches my bead sales knows I love my rondelles. And I am going to make this one an 8.5. So when I do it in 8.5, I want it to be 9.5 because I want it to be loose. So now I'm going to go back to 8.5. My wire, I'm going to cut off about a 13-inch piece of wire. I just like to have my wire be a little bit long so that I have enough play in it to get everything done. I will put, I'm going to use some silver spacer beads. These are 6 millimeter, or not 6 millimeters, these are 3 millimeter spacer beads. I am going to put 6 of the seed beads on. You can do any type of pattern you want. This is just the pattern I'm choosing right now. So we got 6. Then I'm going to do a 3 millimeter silver plated spacer bead. I am going to put 3 of the rondelles on, and then another spacer bead. Okay, let me see if I can figure out how to get this better, Cherie. Okay? Oop. Hold on. Let me see if I move. Nope, that's going right into the comments. Hold on, Cherie. Hold on, everybody. If I go on a wild ride with you, I'm sorry. I'm going to loosen this up. See if I loosen it up. Can I move it down? It is not letting me bend it anymore. It's funny because this one is different. They're the same one, lights, but it is. Nope, don't be sorry. Yeah, go to the right and you'll move the comments. Left makes them bigger. Okay. All right, we're going to get back into here. So here's my pattern that I'm going to use. It will be 6 of the seed beads, spacer, 3 of the glass bead spacer. Show you over here. Oh no, Cherie, don't close out. I'll show you as I go. I'll bring it up, okay? And I will work on making it so that you guys can see the mat better when we go down. Okay, so I did a second one. And when I measure that, we're at 3 inches. Okay. And I actually do not have music on today because YouTube does not allow music that isn't, that is copyrighted. So I do not have music because I cannot get Alexa to work for me. I don't know what happened with the tablet with Alexa. I need to do some research on that. So I can't get my music to play.
You want me to play music on my phone?
It has to be classical or like the Bridgerton music because it can't be copyrighted. Yeah, she did. She truly did. I am using, Chris, 21 strand. I don't remember the diameter. I think it is 0.8. Hi, Rose. Sorry, I do not have my backup account up, so I'm trying to see the comments down as we're going through it. So if I miss a comment, just put it in there again. You're welcome. We are making anklets today. I'm going to show you 3 different ways of using the same technique, but just changing out different items in it, how it changes the look of it. Let me see where we're at. We have 4 total. There, we got it to focus finally. I was having a hard time over on TikTok. All right. We're at just about 7 inches. So we'll do 1 more here. And remember, I wanted to have it be 8.5 inches. So if it, with the full pattern, if it comes out a little long, I'll show you a technique that I use to make it work. All right. So there it is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full patterns. And then that, what I did here, just to show you, is I did 5 full patterns and then I added 6 of the seed beads to make it a full. If I put it on here with all of that, it is with, oh, I got to get one more bead on here. I forgot this one. It is 8 and like 5/8, or not 5/8, 3/8. It's just below 1/2 inch. So this one, I think I'm going to be really okay with that. So I'm going to leave this one. Now, if I wanted to make this one an 8 instead of an 8.5, yes, I have Instagram also, same name, at CarolJo's LLC on Instagram. So you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe on YouTube. I also have Pinterest. So we have it all. So if I wanted to make this 8 and it came out a little bit bigger than 8.5, what I do is I would remove like 3 of each side, the seed beads, to get it to the 8 inches. So that is how I make it fit, is that this side and this side, let me get it so both you can see, I adjust on that side just to get it to the length I want. So it is, yep, same name. And so that is what I do. But of all things, this is the right size. So my pattern I picked out was good for the length I am making this for. So I'm grabbing 2 2 of my crimp tubes, not the seed beads, the crimp tubes. So that is the crimp tube. He is really small. He's 2 millimeters. You put, this is our first time we're going to use a tool here. Open up a split ring with that split ring tool. Why is it not wanting to focus when I go down? There we go. You see where that's open a little bit? You grab a hold of a toggle. I open the toggle before I put it on. Slip this on there. Yep, it is. And then spin it around. And then we want also one other split ring. They're 6 millimeter split rings. My closure lobster class is 12 by 6. Grab one of the 2 millimeter crimp tubes, 1/2 of your closure, put that on. So right now you will see it's like this. Bring that over the top of your closure and back through your tube. So, whoops, I didn't go through the tube. In there. There we go. So you will see we've made like a U here. You don't want it to have a lot of space like this because that adds length, and then that you'll see that. What you want to do is move your crimp tube down, but you don't want your crimp tube so tight that it rubs up against your closure like this. You want like a fingernail width apart. You want this to be able to dangle. Do you see that there? Then you grab your crimp pliers. Then there are 2 different holes here. They're ovals in your crimp pliers. The first time you go to the back one, that creates what I call the hot dog bun that's open. You push it down and you will notice you will get like an open hot dog look. Or hot dog bun, I mean. Then you go and grab your tool and you're going to put it in the first one and crimp those 2 sides together, and it creates a circle there. And that is how you crimp. I do have videos on that, so you can go see that if you didn't catch it, but we'll keep doing that. I use my thumbnail to make sure it's staying by pulling on it. It is. You take your beads and bring them up and put them through your extra wire through the beads. There you go. So I hid it all underneath these beads. Turn this upside down. I forgot to tell you in the beginning, I use a bead stopper to make sure my beads don't fall off my wire. I'll show you that on the next one. We put on our next crimp tube. So there is the crimp tube on there. We'll take our other closure, put it on. Same step, go over the closure and back through the tube. And this time, you're going to go through some of the seed beads or the whatever beads you have on the end. If you notice, it's coming up right there. We don't want to leave it there with this big old loop there. You're going to take and pull that till it gets to where, but did you notice? We have some wire here. So we're going to turn this like this, push this down. Sometimes it works better to put this on your mat to do it. And then you're going to pull again, and then you're going to see, do I have any gaps? Yes, I have a gap. I'm going to keep working on that until I don't have any gaps. This is the hardest part about wire, is getting the second side done. It just takes time. And we'll get her there. And there we are. Now we're going to crimp that one. You don't want this so tight that you can't make the loop. So you want some wiggle in there, but not like where you're going to see extra beads. We're going to crimp that, the back side first to create the U or the open hot dog bun. Top one to bring the two sides together. There we go. Woohoo! All right, so that is how but you see we have this extra piece of wire. We don't want that. Yeah, take your flush cutters. I am just using like, it's from one of my suppliers. It's not a name brand. It is a 21 strand. I think this one is the 0.8 for the diameter wire. And then you just get in there with the tip of your tool, your flush cutters, and you cut that off. Don't cut the wire that you want for your project. So it's like Softflex or AccuFlex, but it's not a brand name. And that is our first one. And when we put this one on there, well, he went a half above. So there it is. But it's only 9. So if this person has an 8.5, this one's going to be kind of tighter on them. He didn't go as big as I thought he would. That was odd. Because that's what I've been doing all morning, and they've worked out until I come on alive.
Yeah, to make you look wrong.
Yeah. But that is this one. I actually got my cone off of Etsy. I've had it for a long, long time. People have asked if I would purchase them. I cannot get them wholesale enough that it'd actually be more expensive than if you guys go source it. So I'll tell you sourcing in just a second. So for that, go and Google easy bracelet. Don't do the printout. Nope. This one is laminated. Don't do the printout ones that you're usually free because they don't always print accurately. I got this one. It is laminated, like it is thicker, and I've had this for years. It finally, this last year, I got a little hole rip right there. But I've had this for lots and lots of years. I mean, I can't remember. I had it in the old house. We have lived in this house for,
Going on 9 years, I think.
we're 8. We just passed 8. There you go. If you want to screenshot that, Patty. I don't remember what store it was. I just literally Googled it. And then I found a store that I could buy it from. Okay, there we go. All right. So that is, you're welcome. That is bracelet number 1. They're all going to use the same wire closure technique on all 4 or all 3 of these. That's not going to change. What's going to change is how you do your beads or what we're going to do with it. All right. So I'm going to put away the seed beads. Next, we are going to use liquid silver, it's called. I have had packages of these for years. And when I want to make my anklets, I just grab this package. When I used to do in-person shows, I would make this. One package would last me an entire season of making them. And I bought the 1 ounce package of liquid silver. Of all things, I am using 2 millimeter crimp tubes, Dawn. Where I got this from, I don't know if it's still available there or not, because I bought it in bulk when I was making them for my in-person shows, but I got it from Fire Mountain. I know you guys probably don't ever hear me say that, but every so often I do buy things from them. The item number, I will tell you, was H20-1752, M like Mary, B like boy. So that was H20-1752MB. I'll put it up here. Yep, that's the crimp tubes. Yep. So that is, it's going to be backwards. I'm sorry. But if you wanted to know, that's where I bought this at. I have not been able to find it at any other place than them. So just to let you know, and I can't buy it at a price that I could resell it for you. But that's what I'm going to use to make something similar to this bracelet or anklet. Why do I keep calling them bracelets today? Just go with it. When I say bracelet, I mean anklet today. So that one I used just a 4 millimeter bicone. You can put the 3 millimeter spacer beads around the beads if you want. You can put more than 1 bead in a row. I'm just showing you if you do 1 bead with that, but I want a different color than the black because I want to make a different one. Just like even here, I used a totally different bead from the example to what we just created. So you can change out your beads. You use whatever beads you want. So I want something other than black. I don't know why green's in my head, but I'm going to see what I can find in green. Thank you, Maria, for all the finger hearts. Once again, I want to preference or really specify that the shape of your bead makes a difference when you're making anklets. Because the more points it has on it, the more chances that it will dig into your skin. Also, the bigger it is, the more likely it's going to dig into your skin. So that's why I tend to stay with smaller beads with less faceting on them as possible. Ooh. I like this bead, but I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if I want to use, it's too clear. I want something bold. So that's what I'm trying to find here. Let me see. I don't know if green's going to hit it because I'm not finding the, ooh, I think I found it. It is going to be a 6 millimeter. We're going to do a cat's eye, a green cat's eye. All right, let me get the lid back on this tray. I want him to go on top, but I got to get the other trays off my lap, so hold on. There we go. Hey, it took me years to get here, Carmen. Years. All right. With this bead, I am going to put that 3mm bead on each side of that cat's eye. I'm going to grab my wire. Once again, this is a 21 strand. I'm going to cut about 13 inches. I go extra, just to let you know. 13 inches of the 21 strand, about a 0.8 millimeter wire. I'm going to put a 3mm spacer bead. Then I'm going to put oh no, I want this here. We'll do that bead. Then I'll do 3 of the liquid silvers after I put this on. Can I decide my pattern? So thank you for all of the finger hearts. We've got the 3mm silver plated spacer bead. Then we have the cat's eye and then the 3mm. I'm going to do 3 of the liquid silver. You could do 3 or 4, whatever length that you want. Just when I bead, I always do things in odds because it's pleasing to the eye. So here we have, oh, he's going to go over that liquid silver and I don't want that. So we'll put that liquid silver. We don't want that bead on there because he is going over it. The liquid silver is very, very fine. And sometimes your beads will go over. There we go. We got one that doesn't. So you want to test that out when you're working on it. Yep, I do have a bead stopper. I keep forgetting to explain my bead stoppers. My bead stoppers are these, and they're just the wire where you open it and put that on there. So these are what I use, and I just put that on the end. I keep forgetting that.
You've used the same ones since I was a kid.
Yep, I have really, truly. I don't have any in hand. I can order some, Dawn, because last time that I got them, I sold out of them. And the ones that I was able to get have the rubber, I believe, the red rubber on this part here. Whoops, on this part. But let me see what I can find, and I'll order some more. Oh no! And I don't know how to do a link into that when we are there. I will add it. How about this? I will add it to my description when I post the video, okay? Because when I post the YouTube, I will add it so that you guys, and just put a blurb in there that you can follow me on other social medias. So I will get that for you. All right, I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. Let me get these on, and then we're going to hear the microwave maybe. Ryan just came home from working at the post office this morning. There we go. So here we are. We have the silver spacer, the cat's eye spacer. Then we have the liquid silver. Then we just keep doing this pattern over and over, okay? This one. And I'm going to measure what this is. I'm not going to make this one specific. Like if I were to sell these at a show, I would just make them somewhere between anywhere from a 7.5 to 10 inches because people have different size anklets or ankles. Yeah, you have an anklet, everybody. And so I would just make them in random sizes. I didn't customize my sizes very often because it was actually not cost effective to mail out or that type of thing at my shows. And that was just a decision that I made. There's another lady that she does shows, and then she's consignment in the area that I live. And she does not do customs or sizings either. So it was something because the cost of it just, you spent more on supplies to take it apart and redo it because you don't always have the same beads available. So that you can't just remake it type scenario. And we both made that decision. It was really weird. We were both thinking about it and we announced it within days of each other. All right, let's see where we're at on the length now. We're just at 6. So I'm going to do one more set. And if you're like me, you have a kinkle and not an ankle. Hi, Rainbow. Oop, that's only 7. I want to do one more set. I want to make it a little bit bigger. We are making anklets. A bead got stuck in that liquid silver. We're going to put a different one on. There we go. Oh, there we go. This one is 7 3/4. So this is what we have here. I'm going to do it this way so I can see it on both cameras. We just have that pattern over and over again. We start on one side with the 3mm cat's eye 3mm, and we are ending on this side with the same thing. We are going to take a 6mm split ring, open it up, grab a lobster clasp, check it out to make sure it works. Yep. Because there's nothing like getting that all the way on, getting it crimped on, and then it doesn't work. So got that, and then we're going to do that. We're going to grab our 2mm crimp tubes that are sterling silvers. When I did do in-person shows, I did sell anklets. I only brought them out starting in the fall, or not the fall, in the spring. And there was a show that I did the first weekend of September all the time, and that was probably the last show that I had that at. There we go. So we got that dangling. We're going to take our crimp pliers. We are going to go to the second one. Whoops, he moved. Got him in there at the right spot, not have him move. Go in that second hole, make our U, turn it sideways, and bring our U together. There we go.
Is it okay if I use a piece of paper?
Yeah, just make sure it doesn't have Bryland's, yep, that's fine. So that is how we do that, and then test it out. I have sold cat's eye beads. They're not easy to get from some of my suppliers, but yes, we have used them. Now, the liquid silver is hard to go through, back through it. So if you noticed here, I have the 3 beads and I've got my wire through there. You can go ahead and just cut off this piece of wire that's longer because it's not going to go through the liquid silver. And I can look and see if we can get those in right now on my next order. Then we're going to do this. We're going to, and these are just a 6mm cat's eye. I've had them in different things. I've had them in hearts. We've had them in rounds. But yeah, I can look for cat's eye. They're not, they can be a little bit more pricier, but I can look. They're not as much as like the Mellifore that we had last night. And then we went back through. I went through the 3 beads, and now I'm just going to pull on that to bring it down. Pull down to make sure we got all that space out. We do. He's still flexible. We're good. But we still have a little bit too much room there. I want to get that down. So you just got to wiggle with it. There we are. Grab my crimp pliers. There we go. And I'm not bringing that up to the camera because of my eyes are not focusing as well if I would go that far away. What size of beads am I using? I am using, let me explain here. This is a 3mm spacer bead. There, 3mm for the spacer. This cat's eye and this one is 6mm. And there is our green cat's eye. This is what I was envisioning with green, is just something that gave it a pop of color. So when you're wearing it, it's going to pop. So I'm going to put it on my wrist. So see how that just pops a little bit? That's what I was envisioning. That's why it took me so long to figure out the green. So, and then here was the example I had where we were using the 4mm bicone. And then here's this one with the 6mm cat's eye. I would not go above a 6mm size round bead because if you get too big, it's going to hurt on your ankle. But some people might like it. I just personally don't. Yep, that's the biggest I would honestly go. All right, let me put this bead away. And I found that while I'm beading, if I put them away after I'm done using them, I stay more organized. And sometimes on a show, I won't do that. And then I get done and I have piles of trays. So I'm trying not to do that when we're doing tutorials. I'm trying to put away as I go. So I will get some, I'll see if I can get some for you, Rainbow. I don't have any in. Okay, I will look for that beads when I'm off the live. All right, now we are going to move on to the charm one. The example that I have here is using the palm tree charm that we have. We've sold these. I sell charms once a month. Hi, Stacy. On Saturdays. A week from today will be our charm sale. All charms are 35 cents a piece. So we're going to do a show that's just all charms next Saturday. So I know when I saw this one, I was like, all right. But originally, and this is why I'm going to talk to you about, is originally I thought, ooh, I want to do, it won't focus because I got it pointed down. Let's see. This was a ribbon, the awareness ribbon. It says the word hope on it. And I thought, ooh, that would be really cute with pink or whatever color you wanted for the awareness of that cancer. So, but look at, this is the way this should sit. Look at how our loop is going this way. So the only way this is going to go on and sit on your ankle correctly is if we used 2 of these split rings to get it to go that way. You don't want to just put it through this hole because it won't dangle down. Do you see how this one dangles down and it's not in my design? If I would put this on right here, it's going to be in the design and cause a space. Oh no, Rainbow, did you hear? I'm gonna try to get you some. I'm gonna look for some. So there, and I do not have any of these silver split rings that are smaller than a 6mm. So if I did 2 of those, it would be really big and look really not so kosher. So if I would want to do this, I would want to use like a 4mm split ring, and I need to buy some. So I'm going to probably buy some 4mm split rings just so y'all know. They're going to be harder to use and put on, but I think that would be cute to be able to do an anklet with that. but we're not going to be able to use that one today because of the way it is and what I have on hand for supplies. So for our next example, I'm going to use the chicken. Now, the chicken's got it right there. That's where our hole is at. So if I just left this and didn't put a split ring on it, he's going to be sideways. So all you're going to see is either his rear or his head, and you're not going to know what it is. So that is why we need to add on a split ring. So you go in here, open up their split ring, and some of the charms, it's going to be a little bit harder than to get the split ring on because they are in a weird spot. Like this one's in a weird spot and my tool is in the way. So you got to just finagle it to try to get that on. Haha, got it. And like I said, you just have to finesse it, finagle it, whatever word you want to use. When you put the split ring on, let me get it all the way through. I'm using a pliers to round it around. There we go. You see how my split ring, I'm trying to use my tool to use so you can see it. If I have my split ring facing the opposite direction of my charm, when I put this on my wire, he's going to sit this way. So that's what you want to do to find that, is to make sure that it's going to sit facing so that you can see that on your ankle and it dangles this way. So think of it as like this is your ankle. See how that's going to show now? If I had this ribbon one and I add that on, it's going to, because this is the opposite way of my charm, it's going to sit sideways once I put just one split ring on instead of sitting this way. But if I don't add link to put it down, it will be in the middle of your design, and you don't want that to happen. I hope that made sense to everybody. So now I'm going to figure out my colors, and I don't know why white and red stick in my head for this one. I don't know. We're going to try, see what we can find. Thank you, Doris, for the follow. Let's see what we can find for some red and white beads. Oh my Lord. I said red and white and I didn't realize. My containers are the bead storage solution containers. And so they have trays, and then in the tray we have little things of beads with their own separate things. This one, Teresa, is a 21 strand wire that is a 0.8. I'm using beading wire to do it. I love the bead storage solution containers. So when I said I wanted red and white, I didn't realize I have a column bead that is red and white. So I think this will work. Oh yeah. Ah! What are the chances? I didn't even realize I had this bead. I have too many beads, but I love them all. All right, we're going to cut off about 13 inches. There we go. Bead stopper. We always want to put a bead stopper. Even though you have a bead stopper on there, you still don't want to always like dangle like this, because sometimes if it gets too heavy, it will fall off. I have a bead mat, as you can tell. Let me get rid of that one. I'm going to do the liquid silver once again too. So I'm going to do my 3mm. I'm going to do 3 liquid silvers. And Ryan is watching videos downstairs, so he's got something that's dinging. All right. I'm going to do another 3mm size bead. You don't always have to do that, but depending on the circle here or the diameter of the hole of it, you may need that so that it doesn't go over the liquid silver and move around. I'm just going to do one of the beads at a, instead of like two or three or whatever like I have been. So this is what my pattern's going to be. My pattern will be 3 liquid silvers, a 3mm, the red and white bead, and a 3mm. That is my pattern. Now, if you notice here, I'm going to show you something on my example one as soon as I get these on. There we go. When you wear an anklet, you normally take the closure and put it on the inside of your ankle, and then on the outside, you'll dangle your charm. So when you look at this, halfway around is where you want to add your charm. So whatever right now, we don't even have 2 inches, so we want to keep going. And you can do any type of charm that you want on there. You just have to make sure that your charm points the right way by adding the correct way of your split rings. The reason why I use split rings on anklets over a jump ring is a jump ring can open very easily. I do not sell the sizer. You can, I'm going to show you, Mary. Right here, Google easy bracelet to find it. Easy bracelet. EZ. Because I cannot get them in at a cost that will be beneficial. It'll be more than what you pay if you would just purchase it from someone else. You know me, I'm not going to make you spend more money if you don't have to. The liquid silver I cannot get either, and so that would be through, I get it through Fire Mountain. I do not do the crimp tubes either. So lots of things that I'm using today I don't have available, but I have it out here. I'm doing this so that you guys can learn how to do it, and I will tell you where to get the supplies. I don't say that there's a best brand or wire per se for it. I will get it from overseas when I get everything else. I just suggest that you use a 21 gauge, or I mean 21 wire, and also or 49. This is what liquid silver is right here. It's this little pieces of silver. I don't know how else to explain it. When I worked at the bead store, that is what we always used. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 full, and then I have the 3 here. I am going to take this one off because he keeps going inside. So I'm going to take this piece of liquid silver off. I'm going to change it out. Sometimes your liquid silver will be smaller than the hole of the bead next to it. And so you want to maybe switch out either the bead or the liquid silver. There we go. I bought it from Fire Mountain. I'll show it to you with the number in just a second. Now, when you're putting on your charm, if you see how this one hopped over that bead, I don't want that. So what you do, there we go, take off the charm. I have here some 4 and 5 millimeter size silver plated beads, spacer beads. On this one, if you noticed, I did, ooh, that's not focusing very well. I did 3, 4, and 5, put on my charm, and then 5, 4, 3. So I'm going to do that again because he keeps going over. Sometimes they may not go over depending on the size of bead that you have next to it. But I am going to do that and build that up so that it will not go over all my other beads and move around. That is just my personal preference. It drives me nuts when things move like that. If you like the movement, do it. It's okay. I just don't.
Do you want to sell these beads? No. Okay. I didn't think
so.
Nope, that's fine. We can toss them.
Just throw them.
All right, so I'm going to build this up just like I did that last one. So we have 3, 4, and 5, and that doesn't want to fall. There we go. And then there's our little chicken hanging down. There we go. And now we're going to do 3 liquid silvers. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side and build that back down and finish this one up. And you don't have to follow the exact same patterns that I'm doing. I'm just giving you guys tidbits of what I do and what I like to do, but you guys can make it your own and do whatever patterns you want. All right, we're getting there. I have 4. I just got 3 on. So we're getting close. And you could have at the, on the back side of your ankle, you could have that white and red bead up against your ankle. Or you can do more of the liquid silver. You can even do sometimes chain with this, however you wanted to do it. I just happen to like the wire the best for anklets. Hi, Geraldine. Thank you for the rose, Teresa. And the reason why I like the these style is that it doesn't have something to like pinch your ankle or scratch your ankle. I just don't like the texture of that when I do. Yeah, it'll be on the replay if you want to watch it. It's not a problem. So we got 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put this last one on, and I'm going to measure my length here. He is 9 3/4. This is going to be a big one. So there it is. Before we put the closure on, crimp tube. I'm just going to do the 6mm split ring on this side because I didn't put it on my thing yet. Push that down, grab the crimp pliers, crimp that, test it out, good. And you're only going to go through that 3mm size bead. It is not going to go through that liquid silver. So go ahead and put that 3mm bead in there and then cut off the rest of that tail. Now, before we go and put our other end on, we got to take our 6mm split ring, open it up, and put on our lobster clasp. You don't need the split ring pliers, but let me tell you, they save your fingernails. I'm just going to try this here. And then spin it around. There we go. Move this all down to that end. Take off your bead stopper. Grab the 2mm crimp tube and put that on. Put it around. Go through the crimp tube. Hold on. We're not going to do that because that liquid silver is small enough. And I got to cut the end off because I got him all bent up. That everything was going over the top of it. The reason why you want to be careful of that is if your beads go over it, it's going to create a it's going to create a space in there that you don't want. What can't you get to work for you, Geraldine? So we're going to go over the top, back through. We're going to go through the bead or the crimp tube and that 3mm size bead. Just those two. Get it as tight as we can, but not too tight. And keep pulling that down. I got to lay this one down because he is going to be there. I want to make sure. Oh, no! Now we're going to crimp that. And cut this off. There, either I will either sell it or it will be up for something that I'll do as a giveaway. I'll tell you what I do sell and what I don't sell, Cherie. And there is the chicken one. Hi, sweetheart strings. So that is how we do that one. Let me just put away the beads really quick, and then I will talk about what I do and don't sell, and what I don't sell, where you can purchase it at, okay? So let me put away the beads so that I don't end up with having beads trays all over. Whoop. Hold on. Gotta scooch over here.
You need some help.
Oh, I got it. Just gotta get closer to it, not be so far away. Okay, I will gonna come up. Okay, here we are. So, as you all know, I do sell the charms. I do sell the silver plated beads, the 6mm split rings, and the lobster class. No, last night was my live sale. I'm not doing a live sale today. I do not sell the liquid silver in this example. Liquid silver you can get from Fire Mountain Gems. This is H20 1752MB. So that is where I get the liquid silver. Now the crimp tubes are 2mm size crimp tubes here. I'm going to grab this one because these crimps, that one. They look like this. I do not sell these. You can Google 2mm sterling silver crimp tubes and purchase them there. Sure. Yep, I do have some. I never did round 2 of the bead mats. Just let me know when you got it, Rainbow. And it's backwards, I know, because I'm not mirrored. All right, so that's what on this style, that is what I sell and don't sell. On the ones that we used, the seed beads, yep, just a second, and I'll get some on the bead mat in just a second here. The seed beads I do not sell. You can get those anywhere at your local craft stores, online, that type of thing. There are just too many sizes and brands for me to be able to carry seed beads. So that's what you would do for the seed beads. The glass beads and the spacers I do, just like we did before. I have the all of this, not the split or the 2mm crimp tubes. And I do have the wire too. Just to let you all know, it is out on my website. I have the bead wire, I have the stretchy cord, and I have memory wire bracelet out there. I am getting low on the memory wire bracelet because we had it the other night, and I'm getting some in. This one here, I do the liquid silver from Fire Mountain, and the crimp tubes I do not carry, but everything else I will have things for you to be able to do that. I will look for some of the cat's eye beads in different colors. Does that help you out with what I have available on making these? I know. They're not, I will get them. I will let you know that sometimes they can be a little bit on the spendy side, but I don't have a problem getting them for you guys. Because a lot of you really do want those. The charms we will have up for sale next Saturday at 10 a.m. Central. So you'll be able to buy all kinds of charms from me if you would like. I'm just putting away as I'm talking to. For the bead mats, we're going to get to that. Let me grab my slips for them and I will show you what we have available for bead mats. Because I didn't do round 2 of them last night. Pretty funny, I forgot to do round 2 of those. I did everything else but those because I moved them to a different spot and then they were out of sight, out of mind. I have 3 different bead mats. Well, hello, and I can never say it because it's your made up word. All right.
98 bags.
Woohoo, can I have you take
Nice
this?
little beads.
All right. I have it all. Yes, I do. Okay. I'm bringing them over. This is only available to those on TikTok. Sorry, those that are on YouTube. I don't do live sales on YouTube because of the comments and the way everything is handled. So, item A was the silicone bead mats that are 30 by 23 by 0.4 centimeters. They're $3.50 a piece. I have 10 of these left. Oh, I totally get that, Geraldine. I totally get it. We all have a budget. So that was item A, if anybody wants that one. And Teresa, you have 2 of that one. Beads, you want 2 of that one? Okay. Yep, I'll get to the gray ones here next. Rainbow wants 1. I'm going to do all 3 of them. So I got beads for 2 and rainbow for 1, and I have 7 left. Don B would like 1. Don, you do have 1 already of that one. Yep, you have 2, Teresa, of A. And then Sweetheart Strings. So I have, last night I had Teresa R for 2, Geraldine for 1, Dawn for 1, Lisa for 1, and Chris for 1. Geraldine wants an extra one. I'll put you down for 2. And then just now, beads 2, rainbow 1, Sweetheart Strings 1. I think I got everybody. I have 5 left of the silicone one. All right, I'm moving that one to the side. Then B. Oop, I just did that on the wrong one. Darn it. Hold on. Back up the booty. I did that one wrong. They're 320 or 325. Hold on. That was B. I accidentally had them mixed up here. Hold on. Geraldine had 1, August 1, Callie Girl 1, Heidi 1, Lisa 1, Chris 1. I have 4 left. I am so sorry. I was on the wrong one. Ay, yoy, yoy. Let me go back. Beads for 2. I have 2 left. Teresa, rainbow. I'll order more. Teresa and then Teresa R. I'll get you 1. I will order more. So right now I've got beads for the silicone. I had the wrong piece of paper, everybody. So please accept my apologies. I have beads for 2, rainbow 1, Teresa R for 1, Sweetheart Strings, Dawn, and Geraldine. I will get more of those. And Cherie. Okay? I will order more. All right, now we're going to go to B. B was the gray one. This is a 30 by 23 by 0.4 millimeter bead mat. That's $3.50. Of the gray, I have 12 left. Teresa R had 2, Geraldine had 1, Dawn had 1, Lisa had 1, Chris had 1. All right, Cherie wants B. 10, so I have 9. Teresa wants a total of 4. So that means we have 7. Geraldine wants 2, so that means we have 6. Okay, let me make sure. So for the gray mat here, sorry, I'm not getting in the right spot. I have Teresa R for 4, Geraldine 2, Dawn 1, Lisa 1, Chris 1, Cherie 1. And Dawn wants an extra one, so you'll go to 2. All right, I have 5 left of the gray. That was B. Rainbow would like 1 of B. All right, got your rainbow. These are bead mats that we use to make your jewelry designs on. Oh, that is so cool, Teresa. I love it. We've got little Miss Buttercup into beading now. She's got some of my beads downstairs in her bedroom. And I really wish she would have kept them up here, but she's making them down there. All right, I have 4 of the gray left if anybody wants the gray. C is the yellow. It's the same size, 30 by 23 by 0.4 centimeters, $3.50 a piece. I have 3 left of the yellow. Dawn claimed last night for 1. What?
It doesn't say to do it, but they're supposed to go in broken up in strands. Do you want me to put those in 2 separate baggies or just keep it in 1? It doesn't say to split it up, but
What does it say?
So have 4 strands and then take 2 strands and put them into bags of 35.
So you'll have 4 strands that are individual, 2 strands that are bags of 45.
Yeah, 35.
So 35. So yeah, you'll put 35 in each baggie.
Yeah,
of
and
those
then do you
2.
want me to put the strands in 1 bag?
Yes.
And then okay.
Yep.
It just didn't say to do it.
Yep. Okay, I do not see any of C. Sorry. Oh, yep, I totally get it because Buttercup is 9 and she's getting into it. Totally get it. All right, do not see any of C. So that is what I had for the mats. I didn't do round 2 last night. I felt so bad. All right. I normally don't sell on my tutorials, but you guys were asking about that.
I had to turn around. I was like, what are you doing?
Miranda's looking. She did give me a weird look, and I'm like, it's not my norm. Thank you for Sweetheart Strings for the heart me. I will get more of the silicone mats. It was just that when I ordered them the first time, we didn't have a huge amount of interest, so I just did a small reorder of them. But I will order more of them and get them to you. Yes, I do sell the wire. I can't remember what it is. If you give me a second, I can look it up, okay? And if you want some, I can add it to your invoice. Why am I not finding it right now? I have no idea. Okay. Yep, I can get that for you. I think it's like $2 or $2.50 for, I can't remember how much. I can give you the details and then you can let me know how many you want. And I'll send you a message, Teresa, on that so that you can make a decision and I can add it to your invoice. I'll do that message yet today. I don't have gold. I only have the silver. And it'll come on a spool like this. This is the one I have. All right. Okay. All right, everybody. I am going to hop off. We are going to start invoicing from last night. Or not invoicing, but sorting from everything from last night so that I can start working on your invoices. And some may be coming tonight or they'll be tomorrow. Just to let you know, they may be tonight. So everybody, you have a great night. Great weekend. We will see you next week. I will post the schedule tomorrow of where I'll be live at. Oh, you're very welcome. That's what we're here for, is everybody can share what you guys do. Because you know what? Somebody might make an anklet a different way. And if you share that with me, I am more than happy because we can all learn and grow from each other. So everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.